Hello, Mr. Peters. Wanted to go over your car, tell you what's been going on. Came in with a no start function and quickly figured out we had a bad battery. So we got your new battery. In addition to that, the cable terminal was collapsed, completely cinched down to a point where it, you can see how it's distorted the clamp, and it was still loose on the battery terminal. And you can see this one is the proper clamp terminal for this application with the bigger positive battery post, and so this looks a lot better, and we got full clamping on there, so we got good contact. Other situation was lack of proper fuel pump, the correct fuel pump, which is the one with the priming lever right here, and this is designed to get fuel up to the carburetors after the car's been sitting for a while, and Mercedes did this on all of their gasoline vehicles of the era. The fuel pump works off of a cam. I'll show you over here. This is your old fuel pump, and this is the oil pump. And the fuel pump is operated off of a cam on top of the oil pump. You can see it's offset right there. And this cam operates a push rod that operates the fuel pump. So it is possible for you to come in and try to pump fuel with that lever and have the cam be on the low side of the lobe so that you get no pumping action. You may have to bump the engine over to where this will spin over and start pumping, give you the ability to operate your fuel pump. So got new fuel pump, correct factory line, hard line, and then also new fuel filter in the fuel filter unit right here. Now, and this thing also serves as your selector valve for low fuel situation, and it came in with this rod pulled backwards. Anyway, and that's in the normal position right there, and you pull back, and this is your low fuel situation. And what you've got going in the fuel tank are two separate fuel lines that are one's higher than the other in the fuel tank. And so when you go to reserve, you're just pulling a fuel off of out of the lower fuel line, and that's why you've got two fuel lines going into your fuel filter right here. And one of them is reserve, and one of them is normal fuel supply. And this, in pulling back on the rod underneath the dash, gives you reserve fuel, another couple of gallons. Now inside here, where this slide valve operates, there's a cork, and this cork is going to dry out eventually and cause you difficulty to start the engine, because that cork dries out and it starts sucking air through here, but you don't realize it, so you lose prime in the fuel system. That's going to happen eventually. It could be happening next week or in 10 years. We just don't know, but something to be aware of. So now that we got fuel to your Webers, and found that the first carburetor needle and seat were stuck, so no fuel was getting into the carburetor. I could see that by simply opening up this cover right here. In fact, I'll put the camera down and see if we can't do this where you can see a little bit better. Okay, so this is something that you can do yourself. What we found was, I looked down inside, I pulled out a jet. These are the main jets. And I looked down inside to see if there's even any fuel down inside there. And you can see fuel if there's fuel in the float bowl. You can see it down inside there. So didn't see any fuel in there. So pulled the fuel line off and removed the screws right here and blew carburetor cleaner in the inlet right here, and got the needle and seat unstuck. Now then, on the second carburetor, well, once it got fuel into the bowls, then I tried to start the car, and it wouldn't idle. So that meant the idle jets were stuck, or clogged. So what I did was went in here, and these are the idle jets. The ones I just unscrewed are the main jets, and these are the idle jets. And what you've got here is a very tiny orifice, and it's real easy for this thing to clog up. They were clogged just with dry fuel. So all you need to do is take this out, put a little wire through there. I know people get excited when I say put a wire through there. It's not going to damage the brass if you're real careful. And then blow it out with carburetor cleaner. Stick it back in. The reason I'm showing all this to you is because this is maintenance you can do yourself with a screwdriver in a few minutes of time. And this is going to happen eventually. I know you keep good quality fuel in your rides, but nonetheless, it's going to happen eventually. So once you've got all of this taken care of, the car just started up just fine and idled just fine. We will advance the timing as you'd requested, but when I did start it up, I got a pretty good amount of rattling from the rocker arms, and I'm going to adjust the valves. And the valve adjustment, well, let's see, look at what I just did here. I just put this back on without its gasket, so let's take care of that right now. The gasket fell out, so yeah, so something to pay attention to. Now then, the rocker arms seem to be loose, a lot of clattering. I checked your timing chain, and your timing chain is fine. It's tight against the sprocket. So going to adjust the valves. Now, you've got a real late vehicle with a late style engine, and it does not use a screwdriver and open end wrench to adjust the valves. It uses this special crowfoot, which goes inside in here, and you adjust your valves accordingly. And you need this special crowfoot with a lot of meat around it in order to adjust the rocker arms. I'm trying to think what else. Okay, we got of course you got your radiator. It was dirty. Got it cleaned out. Got fan, got the water pump replaced, and new fan belt. The other one was cracked. New hose at the bottom down there. New lower radiator hose. The ones at the top seem to be acceptable, but if not, you certainly can change those yourself. New top radiator hose. Painted the radiator the correct color. So let's see what else we have found. That's about it for right now. Thanks.